Hi everybody, this is Mama Sue, and I've got a great tutorial for you today. A while back I showed you how to do some earrings that are similar to this. And it has the hand-forged look on it. Well, now I've decided to extend that idea and make long earrings. And so I came up with this. This is what I'm going to show you today. These long, beautiful earrings. I've got the purple. And then I've made some in a blue, just to give you an idea of how pretty these look. And these are long ones for people who like long earrings. See how pretty those are? And then I did some in the green here. See there? And then finally, the one we're going to do today, it's made just like these. The only difference is different beads. See, on this one I used the square beads instead of the round beads, but it's the same idea. It's the same effect, except for I've got black instead of the silver. And then I've got the blue beads, blue square beads instead of the glass bead, instead of the other glass beads. But it's the same concept. And on up here, I don't have these bead caps. These bead spacers. I have bead spacers on this one and no bead spacers on this one. Okay, well this is the one we're going to do today. And let's get started. Set this aside. What you'll need is you'll need your clips. You'll need your round nose pliers. And you'll also need flat nose pliers. Just for, it's just a good idea having them. Okay. This is all you need for that earring right there. Let me get my sample out here. Here's my sample. And I'll show you what I got here. Let me pull my little pan out. This is all you need for this earring. I've already cut this to size. And let me see how many inches that is. That is 3.5 inches. So you're going to want to cut a piece 3.5 inches if you want it this size. And then I got another piece of wire here. This one's not very long. It's for that spacer bead there. This one is about 1.5 inches. A little over 1.5 inches long on that one. Now, to make the spacer bead, we'll do that first. That's this part right here. That little part right there in the middle. That's what we're going to do with this little piece. What you got to start with is you got to start with a circle here at the top. And what I'm doing is I'm hanging on the edge of it and I'm twisting it around until it touches the metal on the other side. Then I'm pulling my pliers back a little bit to make sure that it goes around and touches the other side. Now it's touching, you see? Now I'm going to stick my plier back in there and I'm going to pull up a little bit, just like that. And that gives me a nice little round place there. I like to take my flat nose pliers, give that a little squeeze, just to keep it nice. And then I'm going to stick my beads on. As you see on this, I've got one spacer bead, then I've got the square bead, and then the spacer bead. Then I have another curl on the other end. Let me get that closer to you. See, I have a spacer bead right there. 2 spacer beads. And then I have a glass bead in the middle. And there's the little circle that I just made on this one. So I'm going to put one of those spacer beads on here, just like that. Then I'm going to go with a glass bead. And then one more spacer bead. Just like that. Now if you'll notice, I have at the top, my hoop is going in one direction so that when I put this hook on it, it's going to hook right in there. Then when you get down to the bottom, you'll notice it's going in the opposite direction. It's not going in the same direction as the top one. So we're going to make sure we do that when we go to close this off. So let's get a hold of that. First I'm going to cut some of this off because all I need is about 1/4 inch on here to get that twist in there. Hang on to that piece when you're cutting it. Oop, I just lost my beads. Everything came off on me. Let's try it again. That happens sometimes. Now all my beads are right back on there, and I've got that extra 1/4 inch on the top. You see? Now instead of going around this way, I'm going to be going around this way on this side. So I'm going to get a hold of it in the opposite direction, and I'm going to start turning it. See how I'm turning it? Then I'm going to pull it back a little bit so that I get that over there. Then I'm going to bring it down just enough to touch the other side of the metal. Yeah, I can squish it up a little bit. You see there? One's going one way and one's going around the other way. Because on this design, that's the way it has to be. I need to twist this just a little bit more. So I'm going to hang on to one end and hang on to this other end and twist it a little bit more, just so that I get that straight, going straight that way. And have this one flat across the top. Now this matches this. That's how you make that little piece right there. Now we're going to start on this part. We got to put a little ring on one end, like we did on these little thing here. But if you'll notice, I have the rings. My other design, it went the other. My rings on the tips went the other way, and that's because I didn't have all these hoops in here. I have 3 hoops on this. If you do it the other way, you'll need just 1 hoop, and it'll go through both of those holes. By hoops, I'm talking about this little circle here. If you turn this, if you twist it to where it's going this way, instead of going the way I have it going right here, I have it going this way, then you only need 1. But I like the way it looks with 3. I just think it just gives it a little extra something. So what we're going to do is on this one, we're going to just go one way. I'm going to get a hold of that. And I'm going to start turning. Turn my needle a little bit. Turn it till it touches the wire. Then I'm going to check and see if it's the right circle size. That's a little bit big. So I'm going to make that just a little smaller by bringing it closer to the tip of my needle. Of my pliers. And then I'm going to just bring it just up a teeny bit. I don't want it a whole lot, because if you'll notice on this one, I don't have them bent back much. And on this one, I don't want that one bent back too much either. Now if I need to touch a little bit more, I can always Be careful doing this, but I can always squeeze it just a tiny bit and make it touch a little bit better, like I did there. Now I'm going to start adding the beads. If you notice on this one, I have 4 of the spacer beads, and then I have 3 of the glass beads. So we're going to start with a spacer bead, because we've got our curl. Now it's time for a spacer bead. Oh, and I notice I have one here that's a little too big. Okay, here's one. Maybe it's not, it just looked bigger inside that. No, it's the same size. Then a spacer bead. These are really quite easy to make. Oops. I say that and then it jumps off on me. Sometimes the holes are smaller. Sometimes they're not. But they'll go on good. Now sometimes you have to get a thinner wire. This is a pretty thick wire I have right here. But I have bigger beads, bigger holes in the beads on these, so I'm not worried about it. Now, I need to go over here to this other side, and I need to curl this up the same way I curled this side up. Now I need to do this one. So let me turn it in the same direction. Now I want this curl going up like this. I want that in the center. So I'm going to curl this one up the opposite way and go into the center. So let's start right here. Let me get a hold of that. And see, I've just got the very tip of it, and I'm starting to bend my pliers. Now, I can't go all the way, so I'm going to have to bring it up a little bit and then twist it a little more. Now, if you notice, I'm there. Now I need to bend it back just a little bit. That's good. Then I like to take on this wire. Now, if you're wondering where I get the black wire, I got the black wire at Ace Hardware. This is not going to be going into my ears, so I'm not worried about the quality of the wire. But I wanted that black coating on there. I love the black, especially when I go back and I forge it like this. See the forged look on that? Isn't that beautiful? It looks great when you do it in black, and that's why I wanted to do it in black to show you the difference. Now we're just going to try to round gate it. Just slowly turn it. Now that was pretty easy to make. Why don't we use our flat nose a little bit here? It'll help you bend this stuff a little bit. So I got like the medium wire here. It's not real hard, but it's hard enough that your fingers don't get it quite as nice. Now that looks pretty good. Let's put it up to the other one and see what we've got. Okay, if you look at one next to the other, it looks just about right. If I put that way up there right next to it, it'll look pretty close. See, this is going to close more when I put the rings on. Then we can play with it just a little bit more. I'm putting it up to it. I'm going to lay it right up against it so you can see that it is the right size. See? When I put it up to it, it kind of fools you a little bit. I didn't put the forge in there because when you put the forge look in there, you should wait until you have both your rings done. Because when you forge it, it makes it a little bit bigger, and it can really throw you off when you're trying to put the earring together. Trying to size it with the other one. Now, I'm using this kind of a ring here, and this one's like a keychain. So what, see how, right, I don't know if you can see that, but this one's like a keychain. So I grab a piece of the keychain, I pull it straight out, and I twist it. And it opens up the keychain just enough that I can get it around this hoop. Now it's on there, you see? Now I just got to twist it. I'm going to twist it until it pops. And when it pops, I know it's on there all the way. See? Now it's on there. But I want to make sure this one's tight. This one looks a little bit loose right here, so I'm just going to tighten it up just a little bit. Let me get that over there. Well, I'll use this. This makes it easier. Round nose pliers always makes it easy. Now it's better. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the other side on. Let me show you how to do this again. You can use the kind that you pull apart and then hook them on. You can use that kind of circle too, but I prefer this one because then your earring never falls apart. I got them by accident one day, and I hated them when I first got them because I had to learn how to put them on. But now I like them so much because I find I lose so many less. I haven't lost anything since I started using these. Now see, I got it on there. Now I'm just twisting it like a keychain, like you're putting a key on a keychain. It's learning how to open that up, because when you're opening that up, what you're doing is you're finding out where a piece is. See, there's the, can you see that? Yes, you can. What I'm doing is I'm grabbing a hold of the wire like this. I'm pulling out and I'm pushing up. And I'm hanging on real tight right here. Now that's open and I can put it on both these rings here. So I'm going to put it on one and then I'm going to feed it on the other. Oops, hang on a second. I lost it. I pull out and up and then it's open. Now I'm feeding on the ring. Now I've got it on one of them, so I'm going to turn it a little bit, then I'm going to grab that other ring. See this ring here? Now I'm going to hook it onto this one. And I'm going to try to stay in your view. Now I'm turning it, and you're going to want to hear 2 clicks when you get around on this one. See how that is? Now I'm turning it. There's one of the clicks. Now we got to hear one more. Oh, there it is. Now it's on there. Now we got to just kind of move it around a bit. Now this one looks like it's open a little bit. So all I have to do is come over here, put my pliers inside the chain like that, and then I just move it down and bring it back up. And then it's closed all the way. See there? Now we've got that together. Now we just want to shape it to make sure it's the same shape as the other one. Now let me lay this one down here, and we'll just put it up against this one and see what we got. Just put it next to this one. Well, I'd say that's pretty close. So I'm pretty happy with this. But right here, I notice I have a little bump. I'm going to get rid of that bump real quick. Because I noticed it wasn't laying quite right. Okay, now it's rounded. Now I can pull it back down. Very cute. Oops. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to add this onto that chain right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up again and just slip this on. Doesn't matter which side because you did both sides the same way. So I opened it up. Remember, I pull straight out. I pull straight out like this. Push it down against the plier. I hang on tight. Then I put this right on the wire. Oops. Like I say, this only happens when you're videoing. Yeah, once in a while it happens when you're off the video, though. See, now I've got it hooked on there. Now all I got to do is turn it and put it on like a key. See me turning it? Oh, it's on there. I heard that click. And there's where we are right now. See? Now what I like to do also is I like to take a little glue and put in there. It really doesn't matter what kind you use. But I like to put a little glue in there because I like these not to move around. I like these not to move around like this. I like it when it moves around on my ear, it's going to stay in place. And that's what I like about it. That's what I like to do with them. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit. I'll pull these two up. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. You don't need a whole, you don't need that much. I'm going to push that down. And then we're going to go the other side. Put a little on this side. And just push it down. You really don't need that much. Well, I didn't put any on that area. Let me get that on there. And then you got to make sure that you've got, at this point, you got to make sure that you've got it in the right place. Now that looks pretty darn close. It looks like we've got it right in the middle. Maybe a little bit off. Not that much, pretty darn close. What do you think? You think I got it? That looks pretty close to me. But I still see a little place right here where it's a little bit loose. Now let me show you how I do that. Because I want you to really know how to do these things. Because once you get used to using these, I put my plier right inside of there. I just hold it. And then I just move forward and back. And then it's closed. See how nice and closed that is? Very closed now. Now the last thing we have to do is to put on the ear wire. Now these I went ahead and bought. I normally make them. A lot of times I make them. But for now we're just going to go with this because I didn't have any black wires and we're using black on this. And I did have, I keep a lot of them, a lot of different kinds around. I can make just about any kind. But, and I have videos on how to make the long ones, short ones, everything. So if you want to go back and look, you'll find all different kinds. I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit more. Okay. Now I didn't even tell you on that wire. When you these, look how pretty those are. These came out adorable. I might keep those. You know, I make all these earrings and I hardly ever wear them. But I love them. Now see that one's closer than that one. So I'm going to pull one a little bit closer. And all I got to do is move the wire just a teeny bit. And it brings it a lot closer together. See how it got closer together when I did that? Still a little bit more. Once you get them where they're going, they're going to stay there. Don't worry. But there you go. And you got a beautiful pair of earrings. And it didn't take a lot of time. I mean, we just did one. But as you can see, it doesn't take long to put together a pair of those earrings. Now, I wanted to show you. Let me grab out my little goodie bag here. I wanted to show you an ear wire because I just realized I didn't show you the ear wire. On the back side of these ear wires, oops, right there. On the back side of these ear wires that you buy, the inside, there's an opening. And when you grab onto it with your needle nose or flat nose pliers, you grab onto it and you just bend it one way. Don't pull it out, just bend it one way. Bend it this way. And if you'll notice, I opened that pretty good there. That's opened quite a bit. You put on anything you want to put on it. Like, grab a wire. You know, when you need them, you can't find them. You just put it on like that. Oops, I'm not even showing you. Okay, I'm under the camera now. You just hook it right onto that place right there. Can you see that? And then you're going to close it back up. Just like that. And you just make it go snug against the metal. And there you go. It's all hooked on. But that's how you do that. Anyway, that's my earrings for now. Beautiful long blue. I made these kind. And you can see how to make the others just by looking at these. Here's some of the others I did. Let me set these up where they look decent. If you'll notice, well, I didn't glue these ones, but if you'll notice, all I did was change beads out. Like this one has a big seed bead, then a little bead, then a little plastic type bead, then another seed bead, the big seed beads, and then it's got a glass bead, seed bead. It's got two caps. See the caps on it? The bead caps. And then a glass bead in the middle. Then I did the same thing as I went on around. And then I forgot to tell you, I hand forged these with just needle nose with my round nose pliers. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now with this. Because I forgot to show you that. Now what I do, just if I just want to get design in it, I just put my pliers up high so that you get a little good grip on there. See? When I squashed it, gives it a little bit of just a little bit of design in there. Now look at that side next to the other side. Doesn't that make a beautiful difference? Let me do it with the other side. This is the way I like to finish them off. Some people don't want it this way, but I like that rustic forged look. I just think it's a beautiful look for these earrings. I can come up a little bit higher. Let me do it on this side too. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between these two. Now look at the difference between the forged and the unforged. Isn't that beautiful? And that's all you're doing is squeezing it with your round nose pliers. And it's just lovely. Now, let's go ahead and get this one finished. Now see, it doesn't take rocket science to make a huge difference by putting a little forge in there. Just with your pliers. Now I do have a hammer and a metal block that I could also do it on if I wanted to. And if I wanted to do it on that, where is it? Oh, here it is. If I wanted to do it on that, let me just show you what I would do. I have a little rubber piece under mine so it doesn't make so much noise. But if I wanted to do it on here, I would just put that part on here, and I would just kind of hit on it a little bit. And you notice it. Let me get that better. It's hard to show you this part. The ideal time to do that would actually be before you put these two rings on, because then you can lay the whole thing up here. Well, let me show you from that side. Then you could lay the whole thing up here like this, and you could forge it, and you could forge it with the metal right here. That's an easier way to do it. So it's easier for me not to show you on this one, but that's the main thing you do there. Now I'm going to put just a little glue on this one too, because I didn't get any on this one. But I really like, I guess I did get a little bit on there. I really like the hand forged look. The hand forged look makes it look makes it a little bit bigger, but it's not huge. See there? Now I've got both those done, and they're just delightful. And then, like I was telling you before, we have all these different designs we can do. This earring, there's so many different things you can do with it. Here's the green ones. Now on the green ones, it's easier than this one because now see, I didn't glue those down. See how I like those glued down though. Now on these, all I did is the same thing I did over here on these purple ones. On these blue ones. I just put spacer beads in between the glass beads. That's all I did to that. See there? And then I did the hand forged look again. This was more of an aluminum type metal on this one. I use all kinds of metal. I'm very careful about what I use for the ears, for the ear wires. But I use all kinds of stuff on here, especially for practice. Now, if you want to get into the more expensive stuff, I advise you just go down to Ace Hardware and start with the cheap stuff until you get real good at it, and then you'll know about how much you need. Now, here's the ones I did that I didn't put any extension on, in case you like longer ones, and in case you like shorter ones. If you like shorter ones, there you go. You got a pretty pair of earrings. The only thing missing is the little extension I put in right here. And then the last one was the blue ones. I think these are the prettiest ones. These ones are really pretty. Look how those came out. Now, with this one, all I used was the seed beads and the glass beads. These three are all glass beads. This is the correct glass bead, and these are just big seed beads. You've got the small seed beads, and then you've got the bigger type seed beads like this. And that's what I used in here. But the glass beads just, there's a lot of sparkle in these glass beads. Well, anyway, that's what I've got for you today. And you enjoy yourself and just have a great day. And God bless.